What is up, everyone? This is Rollin' Dirty. I'm bringing you another video of me riding the Inmotion V12 high torque on a local trail. Now, I'd driven through this area in the past and I'd seen this trail off to the side of the road, but I'd never been on it. So at the end of the workday today, the eve of Thanksgiving, I thought, you know, I got a couple hours before the sun goes down. I'm going to get out and ride. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Alright guys, so I want to talk about a couple things today. One is gear. Now, I've never put my gear to the test, and I'd sure like to never have to put my gear to the test. But somebody once told me, dress for the slide, not for the ride. And I think those those words are especially fitting when it comes to riding an electric unicycle. Electric unicycles are awesome. You can probably tell I love riding one. And I suspect many others feel the same way. But there are some things to consider about an electric unicycle that you don't have to consider about other electric vehicles. Electric unicycles have one motor. They've got one motherboard. They've got, most of them generally have one Hall sensor in the motor. And the power supply all goes through the same circuitry to the motor, whether there's 1, 2, or 4 batteries. What I'm getting at is that electric unicycles are replete with single points of failure. There's a number of things that can go wrong that will result in the unicycle turning off, and when that happens, the first thing that hits the ground is maybe your foot at a glancing angle, or if you land on it wrong, like trying to step, you'll probably break it. And then it's your knees, and then it's your hands and wrists, and then your chest and your face. So the reason that I want to stress gear here is because it's what's going to give you a chance to get back up and walk out or ride out after an accident. If you don't have gear on, you may still walk out or ride out, but you're really just testing fate at that point, because you're going to get more injured than if you did have gear on. Now, what I'm wearing here is an LS2 helmet, off-road helmet. I'm wearing the Liat 6.5 chest and back and shoulder protector. I'm wearing my motorcycle jacket with shoulder protection and elbow protection and back protection in it. I'm wearing Demon Flex wrist guards. As far as I can tell, the best wrist protection you can buy. I'm wearing mechanics gloves. They're not the best gloves, but they do cover my fingers, they cover my hands, and the Demon Flex wrist guards cover my palms. So I think between the Demon Flex wrist guards and the gloves, I have sufficient protection. You can see I'm wearing Liat knee pads, knee protection here. I've also got Liat hip protection underneath my pants. I call those my Thunder Pants. And then I've got Dainese motorcycle shoes on that go, they go quite a ways up my ankle, they go past over my ankle, and over the ball of my ankle on both sides in the material is a metal disc, so that in a slide the proud part of my ankle will not push through the material and then start scraping on the road. These shoes also have a protective sole around the tip of the shoe, and there's additional material on the top of the shoe that would normally be used for a shift peg on a motorcycle. I've tried the motorcycle boots by Dainese. They were like $650 a pair. A lot of money, but they came with a hinged ankle system that would prevent your ankle from folding over in an accident. I tried to make those work. They just didn't work. There wasn't enough mobility on them for a unicycle, in my opinion. And they were way too tight on my feet. They were just too narrow. But these shoes are extremely comfortable, and I think they're the next best thing. I mean, I think they're what, for me, they're as much protection as I could hope for while still having the mobility in the ankle that I need to ride a unicycle. For eye protection, I'm wearing the 100% goggles, and they're pretty good as long as they don't get too warm. I don't have any kind of a fog barrier inside them, so they can fog up if you get too warm, but if you keep moving, that doesn't happen. So the reason I gear up like this is because I'm not exactly a small guy. I know that if I hit the ground, I'm going to hit it harder than some. There's some other YouTubers on here that are self-professed smaller guys. And, you know, it's just a matter of physics at that point. There's a lot of truth in the larger you are, the harder you hit the ground. I mean, everybody accelerates at 9.8 meters per second squared because of gravity. And if you've got more mass, that means you hit with more force, which means more injury. And so I'm a decently sized guy at about 225 pounds, plus or minus 5, plus all my gear. Now, surprisingly, I'm pretty comfortable in all this stuff. It is not... I don't really enjoy the process of putting it on, but it doesn't take too long, and I'm willing to do it for the added security that I'll be able to return home to my family if I get in an accident. Hopefully. None of this is going to stop me from breaking bones like collarbones and stuff like that. If you have that kind of an impact, it's, you know, it is what it is. This stuff is really just supposed to support some of your joints, as well as protect the protruding parts, the proud parts that would otherwise slide on the ground from being exposed. Now, in regards to the Dainese boots, I'd say that when I first put these on, they were a little bit tight. But, you know, they're a shoe, and the material they're made of is stretchable, so I wore them. And after breaking them in for about a week or so, they're very comfortable. Like, I'm wearing them right now while I'm recording this, because I still haven't taken them off after my ride. They're not uncomfortable. They're very comfortable now. I'll tell you though, I did have a good time on this wheel today. I was trying to decide if I was going to take the Sherman Max or if I was going to bring the V12, because I didn't really know what to expect from the trail. And because I didn't know what to expect from the trail, I brought the V12 for the higher pedal clearance. I could have done this on the Sherman Max, no problem though. Oh, this was totally possible on the Max. You know, part of what I like about riding trails is that you get a chance to go down to places you've never seen before. And off this trail, I'd never seen that down here there's a depot, a municipal depot where they keep, you know, like fire hydrants and water main pipes, and they've got like a stock of trees that they could draw from and plant if they needed to at certain places. They got equipment, they've got all kinds of stuff down here. There weren't any no trespassing signs, so I went through. I was actually looking for another trail that was alluded to by a sign at the road above, but I never found it. But what I did find down here was the water treatment facility, which was kind of cool. You can't really see it well here, but all those, you can kind of see some water moving there on the left side. That's all the water coming down off this watershed being treated through this facility. And then I'm assuming prepared for use elsewhere. Pretty big facility, kind of cool. Didn't even know it was there, but you know, here I come across it, and pretty cool to see it. You know, this is one of the things I love about riding electric unicycle. It's just so mobile. You can go almost anywhere you can walk, you can go on one of these things. And you don't, I'm telling you, you don't understand the level up it is to be able to ride one of these things until you learn to ride it. And then you're like, oh my gosh. This thing has totally enabled me. I've heard it said that it's like a superpower. It really is like a superpower. I mean, it takes up no additional footprint than you yourself do. And, you know, today on this trail, I was ripping on this thing at like, I think I topped out at like 33 miles an hour today. And, you know, I've gone a little bit faster than that on it, but this was on gravel. And so your speed's always going to be a little less on gravel versus cement or concrete or blacktop. But yeah, I mean, I was ripping on this thing today. It was I was moving. You know, when you're racing against the sunlight and you got places to be, you're like, okay, let's turn it up. I turned it up. I started at 100% charge, and by the time I was done, I'd gone... Now, let me look. Took a screenshot. By the time I was done, I had gone 16.5 miles. I was at 57% battery. Top speed of 33 miles an hour. I mean, a lot of this was uphill. Almost all of it was on gravel. And I was moving, you know, 25, 30 miles an hour for a lot of it. So, you know, at my weight, I'm going to burn up battery. But, you know, I generally get about 25 miles on a charge riding this the way that I want. I could get a lot more by taking it easy or going just on pavement. But, you know, this is one of those wheels where I figure I'm probably not going to be on it for more than an hour or two. And as a result, I don't really have to worry about the charge because I'm not going to run it out before then. So somebody who's a lot lighter might get quite a bit more out of it, to be honest. You know, like a 150 pounder, 135 pounder, you're going to get more out of it just because you're making it do less work. Yeah, so I guess, you know, I've offered my opinion on this thing in the past. It hasn't changed. For the money, it's hard to beat. I mean, it's a great wheel. And I think, you know, Inmotion's had their issues, and hopefully this one won't have any of those. It's a later version. But you know, Inmotion does make a good effort to build a quality product. They're not perfect, and there's going to be mistakes, but you can tell that they are making a best effort to build a quality product. I mean, of all the unicycles that I own, this was the one when I pulled it out of the box. I was just like, wow, this thing is refined. For the money, that you know, that's an added bonus, considering it's the not the most expensive one that I own. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't think I've seen any speed wobbles. I don't remember feeling any. Unless I was holding like the camera way out to the side or something like that. The wind catches that. You know, if you're going like 30 miles an hour and you have this Insta360 camera sticking straight out on one side, it's gonna unbalance you, and then you will get wobbles if you're not careful. But, you know, generally speaking, I don't have any trouble riding this at whatever speed I want. I kind of wonder what it'd be like to have the high speed. I rode the high speed the other day at a Seattle night ride, and you know, I could tell there was a difference in torque, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I'd totally ride that sucker. It got up pretty good for the high speed. And I've told you before, I've got the what's the other one I got? I have the Begode RS-HS. That's a 19-inch tire. It's got about the same size battery pack as this does. But it gets up. It's my fastest accelerating wheel. Maybe that's just me, but it sure feels like it's my fastest accelerating, and it's a high speed. That's the C30 motor. And I'm going to do a video with that in the coming days, but I'm waiting for some new pedals to arrive. And I'm also waiting for some side pads, because right now it's got the Clark pads, V2 version I think it is. And that case is so wide as it is, that extra half-inch that each pad adds on the calf area is just unbearable. So I ordered new pedals, spiked pedals from E-Rides, because I like the spikes on those. I also like the fact that they're adjustable. I can adjust them to the position I want them to be now, as opposed to just whatever my hangers are shaved to. And once I get all that put back together, I'll create a video about it and introduce you to my RS and do some commentary on what I think of it as a wheel. At any rate, guys, this is the end of the video. I appreciate you sticking that out if you watched all the way to this point. Please like and subscribe. And comment. If you comment, I will reply to your comments. So look forward to chatting with you if that's something you decide to do. If you have any questions about any of the gear, any questions about the V12 or the Max or the RS, leave a comment and I'll respond. Thanks for watching.